Here's 3 things that I did with all 3 of my kids and would do again if I had any more kids. Last time I shared with you guys things that I did with my first 2 but didn't do with my third. So if you missed that one, scroll down my page and watch that. The first thing, we're starting off a little controversial, and that is sleep training. Sleep training is obviously a personal choice, and do not do it if you don't feel comfortable with it. But I feel like it gets a bad rep because people think that all forms of sleep training is just letting your baby cry uncontrollably for hours until they get too tired to and fall asleep. But that is not the case for most sleep training methods. With my first, I basically did not know what I was doing the first 4 months. I would feed him to sleep, rock him to sleep, just do anything to get him to sleep. So when he was 4 months old, I did the Ferber method kind of, which is basically like establishing a nighttime routine and then putting them down. You do let them cry for a little bit, I'm gonna be honest. You go in there and console them, get them to calm down, and then you keep basically doing that until they fall asleep. That worked perfectly for him, and within 3 days, he could put himself to sleep every single time with no crying. With my second and my third, I kind of did the taking care of babies method, which is teaching them how to fall asleep on their own since they're a newborn. It's not sleep training, so before 4 months old, you're not letting them cry at all, but it's just practicing, like placing them in their crib wide awake and then letting them fall asleep on their own. And then when they did hit 4 months old, I did sleep training, and it literally took like 1 time and they fell asleep on their own within like a couple of minutes, because we had practice for the first 4 months of their life. I'm really happy with my choice. They have been amazing sleepers since then, and it just makes their sleep more predictable. You know that when it's bedtime, they're gonna fall asleep. You know when they're gonna be napping. It makes their whole routine the whole day just so much easier. Second thing is baby-led weaning. Baby-led weaning is basically where when they're starting solids at 6 months old, you don't do purees and spoon feed them. You just give them like big pieces of food and they eat it on their own. It is definitely nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like when you do more research and look into it, then you feel better about it because you know what is safe for them to eat and what is not. And at the beginning, they're basically not even actually eating anything. They're just like playing around with the food more, practicing like bringing it to their mouth. But eventually, like literally just by 7 months, they get so good at it. They become more adventurous eaters. So it definitely helps with them becoming picky eaters later on. They're able to feed themselves a lot sooner as well because they have been practicing since they started solid. It's also a lot easier because you just feed them from whatever you're making for yourself or for the home. You don't have to steam, boil, and puree things specifically for them, freeze it, all of those things. And it is definitely messy, but so worth it. I feel like purees and baby-led weaning each have their pros and cons. But for me personally, baby-led weaning just made more sense. The third thing is I basically took my kids out from the day that they were born. I never wanted becoming a mom to kind of like stop me from living my life. So as soon as I felt physically up for it, I went out with my kids. I would take them to coffee shops. I would meet up with my friends. I would take them grocery shopping, dinners, literally everything. And I think this helps so much with not only practicing for yourself to go out with your kids and have it become easier over time, but it also helps them get used to napping in the car seat, napping